Hello viewers, in the continuation of our previous lectures on cyber law, today we will discuss the cyber criminology. First, we will discuss what is criminology. Criminology is an interdisciplinary science that gathers and analyzes data on various aspects of criminal, delinquent and journal antisocial behavior. It is different from the discipline of criminal justice. Criminal justice is concerned with how the criminal justice system investigates, prosecutes and supervises individuals who have committed crime, while the criminologist wants to know why those individuals committed crime. As with all specific disciplines, the goal of criminology is to understand its subject matter and to determine how that understanding can benefit humankind. Criminology as a branch of knowledge is concerned with those particular conducts of human behavior which are prohibited by society. It is therefore a socio-legal study which seeks to discover the causes of criminality and suggest remedies to reduce crimes. Sociologists, however, differ in their view about criminology. In their opinion, every antisocial act emanates from some criminogenic tendency which needs to be cured by the society. Thus, they attempt to correlate the concept of crime with other sociological and environmental factors. Thus, criminology deals with the legal psychiatric aspect or the medico-psychological, biological, pathological or socio-legal aspect of criminality and the factors related therewith. Dr. Kenny defines criminology as a branch of criminal service which deals with crime causation, analysis and prevention of crime. And this can be accepted as the most simple and workable definition of criminology. Now, we will discuss what the cyber criminology means. Victimization through the internet is becoming more prevalent as cyber criminals have developed more effective ways to remain anonymous, and as more personal information than ever is stored on network computers, even the occasional or known user is at risk. Cyber criminology is a multidisciplinary field that encompasses researchers from various fields such as criminology, victimology, sociology, internet science and computer science. E. Jaishankar in 2007 is the founder of academic discipline which is cyber criminology, and he coined and defined cyber criminology as the study of causation of crime that occurs in the cyberspace and its impact in the physical space. Jaishankar in 2007 academically coined the term cyber criminology for two reasons. First, the body of knowledge that deals with the cyber crimes should not be confused with investigation and be merged with cyber forensics. Second, there should be an independent discipline to study and explore cyber crimes from a social science perspective. Since the launch of the International Journal of Cyber Criminology, the term cyber criminology has taken its academic roots in the online as well as offline academic circles. Advances in the information and communication technologies have created a range of new crime problems that did not exist 2 decades ago. Opportunities for various criminal activities to pervade the internet have led to the growth and development of cyber criminology as a distinct discipline within criminology framework. Computers and the internet play an increasingly pivotal role in daily life, making it vitally important to understand the dynamics of cybercrime and those victimized by it. The anthology of cybercrime and criminological theory, the fundamental readings on hacking, piracy, theft and harassment explore the predictors for the participation in various forms of cybercrime and deviance, from common problems like media piracy to more distinct offenses such as computer hacking. Most criminological theories were developed to account for street crime. So, it is unclear how these theories may apply to virtual offending. This text provides critical insight into the utility of multiple theories to the account for cybercrime. Now, we will try to discuss some cybercrime and criminological theories which gives direct insight into the rates and prevalence of cybercrime offenses using data sets from the population across the United States. It gives reader a fundamental understanding of an appreciation for various forms of cybercrime and outlines prospective predictors of both offending and victimization. The selected reading identify research questions that must be addressed in order to improve the legal, technical and policy response to cybercrimes. Now, we will discuss cybercrimes and criminological theory begins with an introduction to the cybercrime of virtual criminality. The very first theory is routine activity theory, then deterrent theory, then social learning and self-control, journal strain theory, space transition theory. First, we will discuss what does routine activity theory. Cybercrime and the threat it creates are growing in reach in accordance with the similar growth in information technologies. Some countries account for more of the variation in cybercrime activity than others, which affects less criminally involved nations as well, considering that cybercrime does not respect national borders over the internet. Routine activity theory has been used to explain cybercrime at the individual level but not at the national level. Much research has focused on the high cybercrime countries, but this research is often conducted by the cybersecurity firms and is exclusively descriptive, making no inferences. This research sought to determine what characteristics predict whether a nation is high in either spamming activity or phishing activity. In a sample of 132 countries, it was found that wealthier nations with more internet users per capita had a higher cybercrime activity. Unemployment was also found to interact with internet users such that the effect of the proportion of internet users on the spam was strongest in the nations with higher unemployment. A great deal of criminological research has attempted to understand and identify the causes of victimization using the lifestyle routine activity theory. Recent researchers have argued that lifestyle routine activity theory may be able to explain the increasingly significant phenomena of computer and cybercrime. This claim has been contested by Yar in 2005. However, who argues that routine activity theory is limited in explaining cybercrime, few empirical tests exist to address this important issue. Thus, the study attempts to explore this gap in the research literature by examining a specific form of cybercrime, online harassment. Using a sample of students at a southeastern university, this analysis found some support for the element of lifestyle routine activity theory. Individuals and peer involvement in computer crime and deviance also significantly increased the risk of victimization. Then we will discuss the second theory, which is called as a deterrent theory. The global cyber threat landscape is expanding exponentially, challenging national security officials and corporate executives in the United States and around the world to adapt to more sophisticated and diverse attack methods at the rapidly bending curve of the technological change. Recently, we have witnessed an uptick in major cyber attacks against American interests, both public and private. Although this has led the current administration to take strides to improve our cybersecurity posture, much remains to be done in the terms of developing cyber policies that are bold and advanced enough to reliably disarm and deter malicious actors. America does not enjoy the luxury of time in confronting this issue. Instead, commitment and urgency are key factors in the race to propel American cyber capabilities ahead of those of its adversaries, and to assume a role of leadership and superiority in this new realm of defense strategy. While American cybersecurity is already benefiting from the strength of the government, relationships with the private sectors, focus on improving these vital partnerships must remain a priority. Of course, in order for the United States to become the most capable cyber power in the world, it is also necessary that it invest in the training of a skilled cyber workforce. Finally, it is paramount for Americans leaders to use these emerging assets to create an environment in which this nation and its interests are not only secure for cyber attacks, but can also benefit from robust strategy of cyber deterrence. Then we will discuss the social learning and self-control theory. Unlike most criminology theories that purports to explain why people offend, control theory offers a justification for why people obey rules. Control theory provides an explanation for how behavior conforms to that which is generally expected in society. Some control theory emphasizes the developmental process during childhood by which internal constraints develop. Social control theories, however, focus primarily on external factors and the process by which they become effective. Deviance and crime occurs because of inadequate constraints. For social control theory, the underlying view of human nature includes the conception of free will, thereby giving offenders the capacity of choice and responsibility for their behavior. As such, social control theory is aligned more with classical school of criminology than with the positivist or determinist perspective. For the most part, social control theory postulates a shared value or belief in social norms. Even those who break laws or violate social norms are likely to share the general belief that those rules should be followed. Crime and deviance are considered predictable behavior that society has not curtailed. Cyberspace presents an existing new frontier for criminologists. Virtual reality and computer-mediated communication challenge the traditional discourse of criminology, introducing new form of deviance, crime and social control. Since the 1990s, academics have observed how the cyberspace has emerged a new locus of criminal activity. But in general, criminology has been remiss in its research into the phenomena of cybercrime and has been slow to recognize the importance of cyberspace in changing the nature and scope of offending and victimization. As such, very few theoretical explanations of cybercrime exist. Now we will discuss the journal strain theory. Recent scholarship demonstrates that cyber world provides an environment in which individuals can easily vent their frustration, anger at others without having to make direct contact, thus decreasing risk of injury. In fact, limited tests of journal strain theory in the virtual world have primarily focused on cyberbullying. And in 2011, in fact, limited tests of journal strain theory in the virtual world world have primarily focused on cyberbullying, previously identified bullying as a particular relevant strain that increase the risk of delinquent behavior based on 4 conditions. The first one is bullying is perceived as unjust by the victim. Next, the importance of peer relationship between the victim and the offender will place a high level of significance on the bullying. Then, bullying typically occurs away from traditional form of social control such as parents. Then, bullying provides a model for the victim to express his or her own aggressive behavior. Research on bullying on and offline supports this proposition, as youth who experience high level of strains, including doing poorly in school, perceiving unfair treatment from individuals in authority, and experiencing negative life events, are more likely to bully others both in the physical and virtual world. In addition, several scholars have studied the effect of experiencing stress from cyberbullying. The effect of cyberbullying on future offending was greater than that of physical bullying. Wright in 2030 found that cyberbullying, victimization and peer rejection led to increased online aggression even when controlling for past cyber aggressive behavior. Although scholars have demonstrated journal strain theory's utility in addressing cyberbullying offending and victimization, it has received little examination for other types of cyber offending. Online predatory crimes such as certain form of computer hacking may logically be explained by stress and negative emotions. Journal strain theories may argue that experiencing life event such as breaking up with long-time boyfriend and girlfriend, losing a job, doing poorly in a school, or having an issue with authority may lead individual to experience negative emotion. In turn, an individual may attempt to guess an individual's social media profile via password, guessing or gain access to another's computer in order to cause damage to those who they feel have wronged them. Thus, scholars needed to both theoretically and empirically address the ways that journal strain theory can be applied to various forms of cybercrime. Then we will discuss the space transition theory. Another unique theory proposed to account for cybercrime is K. Jaishankar's 2008 space transition theory, which integrates various theoretical paradigms into single model. This theory operates on the basic argument that people behave differently while online than they otherwise would in physical space, leading to different behavior patterns in online environments which are not identified by the traditional theories of crime. Jaishankar presents 7 basic propositions about behavior on and offline. The very first one is individuals who repress their desire to engage in crime in the real world due to either status or position have a propensity to engage in crimes online. Another one is offenders may be more likely to engage in cybercrime because of the ability to utilize various identities, hide their location and lack of deterrence in online space. Then the third one is crime in online spaces is likely to move into physical space and vice versa. Another one, cyber criminals may have the opportunity to desist because of the temporary nature of internet and its spatio-temporal disconnect from the real world. The next one is the nature of technologies allow strangers to come together in cyberspace in order to plan and commit offenses in the real world, and those who know one another in real world may partner in order to engage in cyber crimes. And the sixth one is closed societies may produce greater level of cyber crime than open society. due to repressive nature of government regime. And the last one is the disconnect between norms and values of a society in the real world and those of the internet may lead some individuals to engage in cyber crimes. Although several of propositions are sensible and are supported by the basic characteristics of the internet, and other propositions are somewhat difficult to test and may be contrary to either the current research on cybercrime or be specific to a certain form of cybercrime. So, it is very important that we should prevent ourselves from the cyber crimes. In this context, we will discuss some preventions of cyber crimes. Prevention will be always your best line of defense against cyber criminals. Like any other criminal activities, those most vulnerable tend to be the first targeted. Ideally, you want to work with IIT security expert to assess your specific needs and vulnerabilities, but there are certainly some universal steps you can take that will greatly reduce your likelihood of attack. Cybercrime prevention can be straightforward when armed with a little technical advice and common sense. Many attacks can be avoided in general. Online criminals are trying to make their money as quickly and easily as possible. The more difficulty you make their job, the more likely they are to leave you alone and move on to an easier target. The tips below provides basic information on how you can prevent online fraud. Keep your computer current with the latest patches and update. This is the very first prevention. One of the best way to keep attackers away from your computer is to apply patches and another software fixes when they become available. By regularly updating your computer, you block attackers from being able to take advantage of software flaws that they could otherwise use to break into your system. While keeping your computer up to date will not protect you from all attacks, it makes it much more difficult for the hackers to gain access to your system. Block many basics and automated attacks completely and might be enough to discourage a less determined attackers to look for a more vulnerable computer elsewhere. Make sure your computer is configured securely. This is another prevention. Keep in mind that newly purchased computer may not have the right level of security for you. When you are installing your computer at home, pay attention not just to make your computer new system function, but also focus on making it work securely. Then choose strong passwords and keep them safe. Passwords are a fact of life on the internet today anywhere. Use them for everything from ordering flowers and online banking to logging into a favorite airline website to see how many miles we have accumulated. The following tips can help make your online experience secure. The very first one is selecting a password that cannot be easily guessed is the first step towards keeping passwords secure and away from the wrong hands. Strong passwords have 8 characters or more and use combination of letters, numbers and symbols. Avoid using any of the following as your password, means your login name, anything based on your personal information such as your last name and the words that can be found in the dictionary. Try to select especially strong unique password for protecting activities like online banking. Another preventive step is keep your password in a safe place and try not to use the same password for every service you use online. Another one is change password on a regular basis at least every 90 days. This can limit the damage caused by someone who has already gained access to your account. If you notice something suspicious with one of your online account, one of the first steps you can take is to change your password. Then protect your computer with security software. Yes, this is another very preventive step which defines several types of security software are necessarily for basic online security. Security software essentials include firewall and antivirus programs. A firewall is usually your computer first line of defense. It controls who and what can communicate with your computer online. You could think of firewall as a sort of policeman that watches all the data attempting to flow out of your computer on the internet, allowing communication that it knows are safe and blocking bad traffic such as attacks from ever reaching your computer. Then the next one is protect your personal information. Exercise caution when sharing personal information such as your name, home address, phone number and email address online to take advantage of many online services. You will inevitably have to provide personal information in order to handle billing and shipping of purchased goods. Since not any personal information is rarely possible, the following list contains some advices how to share personal information safely online. The first one is don't respond to email messages that asked for personal information. Legitimate companies will not use your email message to ask your personal information. When in doubt, contact the company by phone or by typing the company web address into your web browser. Don't click on the link in these messages as they may take you to the fraudulent or malicious websites. Then pay attention to privacy policies on the websites and in the software. It is important to understand how an organization might collect and use your personal information before you share it with them. The next one is guard your email address. Spammers and phishers sometimes send millions of messages to mail address that may or may not exist in hopes of finding a potential victim. Responding to these messages or even downloading images ensures you will be added to their list for more of the same messages in the future. Also be careful when posting your email address online in news groups, blogs or online communities. Online offers that looks too good to be true usually are. The old saying there is no such thing as a free lunch still rings truly today. Suppose free software such as screensavers, smileys, secret investment tricks sure to make you untold fortune and contests that you have surprisingly won without entering are the enticing hooks used by the companies to grab your attention. While you may not directly pay for the software or service with the money, the free software or service you asked for may have been bundled with advertising software that tracks your behavior and displays unwanted advertisements. You may have to divulge personal information or purchase something else in order to claim your supposed content winnings. If an offer looks so good, it's hard to believe, asks for someone else's opinion. Read the fine print or even better simply ignore it. The next one is the review bank and credit card statements regularly. This is a very important preventive step. The impact of identity theft and online crimes can be greatly reduced if you can catch it shortly. After your data is stolen or when the first use of your information is attempted, one of the easiest way to get the tip of that something has gone wrong is by reviewing the monthly statement provided by your bank and credit card companies for anything out of the ordinary. In concluding remarks, we can say cyber crimes are increasing day by day all over the world. Advances in information and communication technologies have created a range of new cybercrime problems that did not exist 2 decades ago. Opportunities for various criminal activities to pervade the internet have led to the growth and development of cyber criminology as a distinct discipline within the criminology frameworks. Computers and the internet play an increasingly pivotal role in daily life, making it vitally important to understand the dynamics of cybercrime and those victimized by it. So, it is high time to understand that what are the causes of these crimes and how we can prevent ourselves from being the victim of cyber attacks. Thank you viewers for watching this program.